Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dominique Davis, also known as Brown and Bendy. And here on this channel, we practice flexibility of the mind, the body, and the spirit. So I'm really excited about today's video because I feel like today, energetically for me, I could only ever identify it as like the first day of summer vacation. That's what it feels like. Yes, because the seasons are changing, but also I think something's happening with the collective. I feel like so many things are breaking away, and um the energy of so many emotions that were locked up and tight are finally being let go of and freed so that newness can be welcomed in. That's what I feel like is happening right now, at least for me in my personal experience. I know that I have been dealing with a trial for like the past 4 months, and I'm just seeing the other side very newly. And for me, like I said, it feels like the first day of summer vacation. I'm getting back to feeling like myself and that clarity that you have when you're aligned and centered. So all this to say, I told you guys in another video that I'm no longer sitting and thinking before a video, what would be a good video to tell everyone? Because I feel like when I do that, I start to pander and I start to think, well, what's gonna go big on the algorithm? What are people going to click on? You know, what can get me to 100,000 subscribers faster? That used to be my old way of thinking. But recently I've just, every time I have an idea for a video, I write it down. And when I come to make the video, I go to the list and I just go one by one. I don't skip around anymore. I just, whatever's next on my list of videos that I thought of, I make. So that being said, I'm starting to write down topics that they're not too broad and they are all grounded in the law of attraction because that's just how I think. But I'm starting to see newness that I could bring to the channel, which is so exciting. And for today's video, what I had written on the list was in big letters: you have to start making relationship videos, because I feel like for the past 2 years I've been talking about the law of attraction, and a lot of my examples have been very subjective. We'll say that my answers have been or my examples have been very subjective. Like I can use them to give you an example, but it's really going to depend on where individual people are in their lives. And a lot of the times in their romantic relationships, yes, relationships with everyone are important, but our partners, like that's our road dog, you know? So it's really important that we understand why we chose who we chose and how we're going about that divine relationship. And I want to be able to help anyone who needs that help. So I'm going to start getting back into feminine energy videos, as well as getting back into relationship videos, or start making relationship videos. I don't think I've ever made a relationship video before. And before we jump into the topic, I just want to let you know that anything I ever say about a relationship or any video I make has nothing to do with abusive relationships. Nothing I say has anything to do with abusive relationships. If you're in an abusive relationship, I will put a hotline number in the description box. Please call that, or yeah, in the description box, please call that number. Please find a support system. You don't deserve that. You never deserved it, and you will never deserve it. Everything that I'm saying, please do not use anything that I say in this video to justify if you're being abused. That is it. That's that. Okay. So all that being said, something that I find myself telling my friends, telling my clients, is that, let me back up a little bit. Lots of times people want to manifest stuff, right? And a lot of times when people have this epiphany, they learn that they can use their thoughts to mold their lives and create the life that they want for themselves. They realize that they may have a partner that doesn't necessarily vibrationally align with where they are anymore. And whether that happens on a spiritual journey or just in general, you notice that you and your partner are becoming distant. You don't really see eye to eye with your partner anymore. Things that you once thought were cute are starting to annoy you, things like that. When we get to this place, a lot of times our brain can say, oh, time to break up, time to move on to the next. Or even if we're so deeply in love with this person, we could feel so deeply in love, we could feel like we don't want to leave, but our brain is not saying that staying is the answer. The brain is not saying that working on the relationship is the answer. All we can see that makes sense is we have to part, right? So what I want to tell you is that you do not have to break up. In order to manifest the perfect life for yourself, you don't need a new partner. Now, if that's what you want, if that's what you know, go for it. Like, this video is not for you. But if you are struggling with leaving your partner, but you can't see how it could work, we're going to go through a couple of concepts in this video to help you understand that a lot of times we don't need to change the job that we're working at in order to find complete fulfillment. We don't need to break up with the person that we're in order to find complete fulfillment. A lot of times it's about changing our internal belief system and our internal perspective, because that change literally creates physical change in our physical realities. So the first thing I want to talk about when it comes to you and your partner is intentional energy. Okay, so I say spiritual journey. A lot of us reality vendors, we say spiritual journey. Where are we on our spiritual journey? What do we know? What are we working towards? But spiritual journey isn't everyone's jam. So what I like to say is, how are we intentionally using our energy? Because that brings us back to being accountable. What have we learned in the past about the things that make us feel energized and confident, happy, and full of love? And then what have we learned about the things that drain our energy, that make us feel like we are not worthy, that make us feel like we are so far away from our dreams? What are the differences in those two energies, and what have we experienced in our lives to help us better understand what keeps us at the higher vibrational place? And then what are we doing on a daily basis to stay in that higher vibrational place? That's being intentional with your energy. Now, the reason that I like to just stick to a spiritual journey is because when you're on your spiritual journey, you have an understanding that it's not just you, right? Source is with you. If you believe in angels, your angels are with you. Whatever you believe in, it's not just you that's responsible for making everything happen and everything move. That's really what I love about the spiritual journey, is that you bring God in and it's not all your problem. But everyone is not on that boat. And it's not my job to put everyone on that boat. So there is a difference. And the reason I'm giving you this difference is so that if you go to talk to your partner, so you don't feel like you have to say, well, where are you on your spiritual journey? You can definitely address it from, how are we intentionally spending our energy? And why this is important is because this conversation allows both people to sit down and say, who do I want to be? Right? Who am I right now? Who am I right now? And who do I want to be? And then asking myself, what am I doing to make that happen? When you think about a spiritual journey, that's the steps you're walking on your journey. That's the progression. Who am I today? Who do I want to be? And what steps am I taking to get to becoming that person that I want to be? Every day, am I doing what I think, what I feel, what I energetically align with? Am I doing the things that align with me being that best version of myself? Okay, both people in the relationship want to have an idea of how they are intentionally using their energy. And also, both people want to have a good idea of what are their strengths and what are their weaknesses on this spiritual journey, on this understanding our internal energy, so that we may be intentional. What are our strengths and what are our weaknesses? Now, it's so easy to say, well, I know what some of my boyfriend's strengths are, I know what some of his weaknesses are. But something that I will find myself repeating a lot of times in these videos is that our relationships, our romantic relationships, are not for codependency. You do not have a partner so that that partner completes you. That's not it. If you have a partner so that they are fulfilling things in you that you should be fulfilling in yourself, it's never going to work out. It's never going to work out, and it will never feel good. Relationships are two separate people coming together in a partnership, not one person who needs the other and the other person who needs the other, just in a different way. Okay, we're going to talk about that in a little bit. So what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are your partner's strengths? And what are your partner's weaknesses? Being able to have that conversation is very, very, very important. And I think that we must practice patience with our partners, especially if we are the type of people to sit on YouTube for like 3-4 hours and like meditate and watch high vibrational videos and consume Neville Goddard and Abraham Hicks and like all these different theories of happiness. If we're that type of person and our partner isn't, we can't expect them to always be so ready to discuss these concepts just because this is where our mind stays the majority of the time, right? So we have to practice patience and just come to our partner and ask them, where are you right now and where are we going? No matter what, no matter where the relationship is, no matter how the relationship's functioning, that needs to be a conversation that the two people should be able to have. And if not, there's not much of a relationship. If you cannot sit with your partner and say, where are you and where are you going? And that conversation can't be honest and genuine and open, that's an issue. Because communication is the only way that you're going to know where you are with this person, right? So why is that conversation important? Where am I? Where am I going? Where are you? Where are you going? Why is that conversation important? Because every person that we date, every person that we have sex with, every person that we are intimate with, we are a vibrational match to. We are attracted to them. They are attracted to us. And I'm really excited that I'm going to be able to explain the law of attraction in this way, because law of attraction is not what a lot of people think it is. So for this video, I wanted to use the concept of over-mothering, right? So we have two people in this relationship who have been over-mothered. We have person A, whose mother was very, you need to be strong, you need to be independent, you need to make sure that you have everything taken care of, was very hard on person A to always make sure that person A showed up so that person A could be independent and self-sufficient. So person A grows up knowing how to do everything, knowing how to take care of herself, and possibly having an open enough heart to saying, I'll take care of myself and I'll take care of my partner. I do not care where my partner is. I will take care of them. I will sign up for all the bills. I will do all the online maintenance. I will pay the bills and I will maintain the bills. Okay. I will pay for the house and I will find the house and I will furnish the house. I will take care of everything because that's how my mom taught me to be. Right? So that's one example of over-mothering. That's person A. Person B also was over-mothered, but this mother said, I'm going to do everything for you. I am going to pay your bills, even though you're 20 years old, because I'm scared you can't do it. You don't ever have to cook. I'm going to make your food. I'm going to bring you all your meals, even though you don't even live with me anymore. I'm going to tell you what type of women you should date because I don't trust your judgment. And I think that I know what women are better for you, even though you're a 20-year-old man. I'm going to tell you, this is over-mothering in a different way. And what this does is it creates the mindset of, I need someone to take care of me, no matter how old I am. What I'm doing is I'm showing you how two different people are on this vibration of having mother wounds. And even though they're in completely different ways, person A, who is so convinced that their worth is equal to how much they can do for another person, is going to attract person B, who only feels worthy if they're letting someone do everything for them. These two people are going to attract each other, even though it's in opposite ways. They are coming from the same wound. They have the same vibration. Okay. Even though there's not the same thoughts, it's not the same actions, it's not the same perspective. It's coming from the same energetic place. Okay. So those two people attracted each other. And the reason that I bring this up is because I want to make it very clear that breaking up does not assure success in the next relationship. It does not. So let's say you're person A and you feel like you know what? I'm just going to talk about myself. So let's say that you are person A. I had a little bit of person A in me for a long time, where you overwork to prove your worthiness. You overwork to prove what you can give your partner, to prove what you can provide for your partner, because you're a little scared that if you don't provide these, and there's so much masculine and feminine in this language, but another video. Make sure if you have questions, you leave them in the comment box so that I can continue to add them to my list of videos. But yes. Anyway, I don't want to get too lost. I feel like you guys get my point. But talking about myself, I used to be very into this idea of over providing and being a mother to my partner. And the more I started to get into the law of attraction, the more I started to understand that my energy was not centered. I was constantly feeling drained. I was constantly resenting my partner because I was doing things that my partner wasn't asking me to do. And I learned that that's not where my soul, my spirit wants to be. I was that way because of my energetic wounds, right? So when I started to understand that I didn't want to be this person to sacrifice what I had to give so that another person could be comfortable, when I noticed that I wanted to step back away from that, I started to learn how to balance my energy out more and to see things a little more clearly from that place of feeling good. And I was able to notice the parts of myself that attracted my husband and the parts of my husband that attracted me. And we were able to really understand how to back away from this kind of upside down culture of me over providing and him feeling like he doesn't have the space to be a true provider because I'm over providing so much. Yeah. So that was a wonderful, wonderful evolution in our relationship, led to a lot of happiness. But if I were to break up with my husband, let's say, because this is what happens a lot. Let's say I start studying the law of attraction. I start becoming really confident with my energy. And I say, I'm a feminine woman. I have been providing for my man all this time, but now it's my turn to be provided for. And I look at my husband, not Adam, but now we're back in the example. I look at my husband and I say, oh, well, I am the one who is providing in this relationship because that's the contract we signed at the beginning of this relationship. And now I've changed. So my man is not the man I want anymore. I want another man. I want a man who's going to provide for me and give to me, not the way that this man does. I need a man who fits the new me, my new thoughts, right? I see a lot of people jump the gun when they get that little bit of taste of expansion. But here's the thing, breaking up with your current partner does not mean that you are opening the floodgates so that this new man who fits this puzzle piece in your mind can enter, right? Because the people that we are in romantic relationships with are very, very, very important. They are very important to our journeys. They're very important to what we learn. And a lot of times the growth that we experience with them is everlasting and it impacts us so, so deeply. So a lot of times we would rather break up and pursue a new relationship that fits our new perspective instead of talking to our partner and seeing where their energy is and seeing if they've been fulfilled and whether this is a journey we could go on together. I've been getting lashes stuck in my eye all day. I hope that's not what's happening. Okay. So last thing I want to say about this is also that a lot of times when we're growing, we become so angry when our partner is not growing with us. And I think that that is a huge, huge, huge testament to where did the relationship start? How much of a place of desperation were you in when the relationship started? And I don't mean desperation like you were so desperate you dated the person. I mean desperation to what were you running from? What were you so desperate to escape? So much so that you clung to this relationship when that person may not have been what you wanted in the first place. Because if you experience a little bit of growth and then you're ready to leave your partner, that feeling was there at the beginning as well. We were just not being as aware of it. So a lot of times relationships disintegrate because there's just simply no gratitude for the person that we are with. We think that because we grew a little bit, there has to be somebody else out there on our level. But in reality, there are so many good things about the person that we are with. And we have to stop nurturing these mindsets that the grass is greener and instead start nurturing and watering our own grass. When we're growing, we cannot expect our partner to be on the same exact spiritual journey with us. But that person that we are with still needs to be in alignment with the person that we are. The person that we're with is not supposed to be our duplicate. They're not supposed to be our mirror image, but they are supposed to complement us and they are supposed to allow us to understand ourselves even more deeply through a foundation of love. So the answer to everything in this video, how to make the decision that you need to break up because this person is not aligned with who you are, or to make the decision whether you guys need to work on it, whether there is still space to work and grow. This is all my opinion, but it's the same advice I would give my friends, my little sister, my family, everybody. So it's the advice I'm going to give to you. There's something I talk a lot about on this channel, and it's called the blueprint. When we are creating the blueprint to the identity that we would like to shift into. At the beginning of this video, we talked about the understanding of our spiritual journey, where we are, where we want to be, and what we are doing every day to get there, right? So the who we want to be is what we're referring to in this blueprint. So the blueprint is talking about detailing that person that we want to be, no longer a vague image, but a more complex understanding of who we want to be in this reality. What are our main core beliefs? What do we want to see reflected in our reality through our relationships, through our career, through our finances, through our own spiritual belief system? What do we want to see in our lives? Who do we want to be? And not being overly emotional in this situation, but just seeing reality and saying, what type of person would I have to be to better enjoy this reality? Creating that blueprint, not becoming that person today, but taking the space and the time and the energy to sit down and say, if I could be whomever I wanted to be and my life could be however I wanted, what would that look like? Creating that blueprint. My favorite way to do this is through scripting. You guys know I sell a scripting journal. But my favorite way to create this identity, this blueprint to this identity, is through scripting, especially if you have no idea who you are. The only way to experience different things without going out to do it is through scripting. It's by sitting down and writing out a scenario that you are experiencing and really allowing yourself to use your imagination, because the brain does not know the difference between imagination and reality. Through experiencing all these different things in your journal, you're going to be able to use your internal guidance system to say, this aligns with me. I like this feeling. Or, that was nice in theory, but I don't think I actually want to go jet skiing. I don't think I actually want to go cliff diving. That's not for me. It just looked cool, right? So break up or not break up. We're all in different places with creating this blueprint. Some of us are sitting down with a pencil in our hand, looking at a blank piece of paper. That's where some of us are. Some of us are also in a place where we have the piece of paper and we're sketching out different drafts, right? We're sketching out different drafts. And then some of us are finished with the blueprint and we're just referring to it every day. That's where a lot of us are. If both people in the relationship are in any of these phases, it can work out. It can work out. It can. And better yet, let me not even say it could work out, because better yet, I really do feel like it can work out, because at some point you turn a certain age and you realize that dating is an illusion. Being out here in these streets, when you have somebody, there can be problems, and your brain can make you seem like those problems are the end of the world. But like I said, if the blueprint is being worked on, if the blueprint is in existence, those problems can be taken in stride, right? So that's just my personal belief. I believe that if both people are at some phase in the blueprint, the relationship can work. Where we have to start saying, I got to give you some space, is when the person has no want, no urge to grab the pencil or pull out the piece of paper, right? Because a lot of people talk. A lot of people say, oh, I'm doing this. Oh, I'm accomplishing this. I'm going to be this. When you see me in 5 years, I'm going to be this. And that's all well and good. But that takes mental organization in order to accomplish these huge things, especially if you're shifting from one lifestyle to another. It takes mental organization. So if there's no blueprint, and if there is no pen out, there's nothing on the desk, that is a situation where you have to give that person some space, because they don't know anything about themselves. Because in my experience, the only people who are afraid to start this process are the people who are not confident in their own personality and who are so ashamed of themselves and their personality. And is there any reason to be ashamed of yourself and your personality? Of course not, because we're all just a reflection of our past and what we've gone through and times that we were not intentional. There's no reason to be ashamed, but everyone doesn't know that. And we can't force people to be in different places. So if an individual is not willing to work on their blueprint for where they want to be, and they would rather just take things day by day in chaos, that is their choice. But if they don't know who they are, then they don't know how they want to treat you. They don't know how they see themselves in a relationship with you. If you have a whole plan for who you want to be and where you want to be and what you want to do, and you choose to be with a person who refuses to make a blueprint, as you plan, you will realize that you are pulling the majority of the weight, because one person has a plan and one other person is free falling. If we do not dedicate our internal mental energy to serving us, it spins out. If we are not focusing our energy on doing what most serves us by understanding what most serves us, if that's not the way we're spending a lot of our time, then a lot of our time is going to be spent on situations, people, circumstances that have nothing to do with ourselves, our spirit, or our journey. I should have went live because I'm starting to feel like this video is really long, but should I go live? I'm too deep. I'm too deep. Okay. Yes. So if the paper's out and both people in the relationship are working on some part of their blueprint, they're at one certain place, that means two people can come together to support each other and on the journey. But if one person will not commit to making that blueprint, it's a dub. And I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, because that really sucks, because a lot of times people don't want to make that blueprint because of trauma. And you will see it. You will see so much potential and so much light and so many amazing qualities out of an individual. But because they're in pain and because they're confused and because they're lost, they do not want to sit down and think. They don't want to sit down, and they would rather think about everything aside from what actually has to do with them, their life, and their situation. And when a person is in that mental place, a relationship isn't really one of the best options. Yeah. So I hope that this video, yikes. Sorry about that. You know what? Let's do a love affirmation. I love you. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. I'm going to repeat one affirmation a couple of times. Feel free to repeat it with me, or to remain silent, focusing on your breath and maintaining a high vibration. Everywhere I go, I find love. 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 Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Yeah, that feels a little better. So this is real life. If you're ever going to experience the light and the shadow of life, it's in romantic relationships. It is what it is. So, these videos might not always feel super high vibe at the end like our other videos do, but sometimes we got to just move through different emotions to understand why we're making the choices we're making and why we're choosing to have specific people in our lives. Intentionally knowing why we choose to have specific people in our lives. And you deserve to intentionally know that, because you're a gift. You being in my life's a gift. You being in anyone's life is a gift. So I hope it gave you permission to look at your relationships and really say, this serves me well, or to possibly say, maybe this is not the best time for this interaction. Yeah, well, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, because I really hope you did. And let's let other people on the platform know that it is valuable. If you would like me to expand on anything that I talked about in today's video, let me know down in the comment box. Last but not least, if you would like to be notified when I come out with a new video, please make sure that you subscribe and click that notification bell so you can be notified when I come out with a new video, and so that you can become a reality bender yourself and join the Bendy bunch, because it's lit here. I love you so much, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.